Step 8, okay? Step 8 in the manifesting process. So step 1 is you're going to set an intention. Step 2 is you're going to keep doing what you're doing. You're just going to make a difference for everyone you come in contact with. You're going to forget about the how. You're going to tell everyone what you're up to, and you're going to connect deeply with people. When they start to give you suggestions, you're going to do it. When they tell you, when they want to give you something, you're going to take it, and whatever happens, you're going to declare it perfect. Then you're going to ride the waves, and then finally step 8 comes, and then write down for me, please. It never looks like you thought. It's always better. It never looked like you thought. So here you are. You think that you are a powerful psychic. Will you turn to the person next to you and look at them right now and just do this? Go, ooh. You're a powerful psychic. Somehow you've made up this story that you should be able to predict exactly how things should be. And if they turn out any other way than that, you're pissed. Who's ever noticed that? It's called broken expectations, right? Now, broken expectations is just a hallucination. So no better story than when I first met Claudine, my wife, and she had to go home because she had to go watch the kids get their new belts in karate. But when I first met her, she was 23 years old, just out of college, got this killer job making 60 grand a year. She was like the queen, except every single day, she was bawling her eyes out at work. And I'd go to her and say, what are you doing? Why are you crying? And she's like, I just want to ride a horse. And I was like, well, you should. And she goes, I don't have one. I said, well, that'll get in the way. Kind of hard to ride a horse if you don't have one. How about if we manifest one? She goes, oh, we just manifest one. Sure, we just manifest, right? And I was like, what do you mean? We'll just manifest one. And she's like, oh, we just manifest, sure. She says, I have a job. I have bills. We just manifest.
Can you imagine being married to this guy? Jesus.
Well, I'm easy to make dinner for. I just drink drinks.
Right.
Exactly. So she, of course, is completely resistant and tells me I'm an idiot and that manifesting isn't true and that she's not going to buy into some, voodoo thing that I'm doing. And I said, fine. You want me to prove to you that manifesting works? She goes, you ain't going to prove it. I go, oh, yeah? What if I manifested a horse for me? And she's like, you're going to manifest a horse for you. I go, yeah, but I don't want the stinky big animal kind. I want the Ferrari kind. How about if I manifest someone gives me a free Ferrari? If I manifest someone gives me a free Ferrari, will you believe that we can manifest a $150,000 show jumping horse for you? And she says, if you get a free Ferrari, I'll believe it. I said, fine. So I just did what I was doing my thing. I was just following the steps. Part of what we're going to talk about tomorrow is gratitudes, right? So I'm just driving. Now at the time she's like, so let's get this right. You have a Jeep Cherokee. Right, this is 11 years ago. You had a Jeep Cherokee with cloth seats. You have manual windows and manual locks. And somebody's going to give you a free Ferrari. And I'm like, that's right. So I'm driving in my Jeep Cherokee, right? And I'm just making fun, having fun. It has no CD player and the radio sucks, so I make all my friends sing, right? We're singing, we're having fun. I called this car the Unity vehicle. And my friends were like, why is it the Unity vehicle? I said, just wait. We'd all get out and I'd say, now, we're going to have a Unity moment. They say, what are we going to do? I say, everyone lock the door. Click, right? I just made it fun. So about 3 months into it, my dad calls me up out of the blue. And he says, I'm marrying Kathy. And I said, yeah, I know you're marrying Kathy. Well, I got a 3-car garage, and she has this other car. And at the time, he had a Rolls, he had a Porsche, and he had a 500 SL, right? And he's like, and she's got this Lexus and blah, blah, blah. Do you want it? Now, I play the perfect game. So whatever's offered, I take it. So I take the Lexus. Thank you. I show it to Claudine. She says, not a Ferrari, doesn't count. Okay. So I'm driving my free Lexus. And at the time, I'd been married before, and I had Trevor at that time, and so I'm picking Trevor up at school, and I'm putting Trevor into the car seat in the back seat of my Lexus, and all of a sudden, it hits me. If I would have got a Ferrari, I couldn't pick Trevor up at school. And I'm committed to having a relationship with Trevor and being a part of his life. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. So I'm driving back, and I'm thinking to myself, what did I think a Ferrari was? Because at this time, we were having this conversation in our mastermind about you always get the essence of what you want. And so I thought, I thought a Ferrari would be luxurious. So I'm looking at, Lexus is pretty luxurious. And I thought it would be fast, right? And I had the GS something or other, GS 300 or something, right? And I was like, right? Well, that's pretty fast, too. It's a sport sedan. But I was thinking, what is it really? And really, only the guys can appreciate this. What I thought the Ferrari was this. Guys, when you get out of the Ferrari, it's like, hello there, hi. I've brought my Ferrari, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, would anyone like to sit in it? Yes, it's outside. Did you see the Ferrari out there? That's mine, thank you. Yes, yes. Would you like to see my Ferrari? Right? I thought that the Ferrari would be like, hello. I was like, suddenly my esteem would go very high. And I realized that going from the Jeep to the Lexus had the same effect. I was working with my dad in the seminar business. I'm in the Jeep. I would go straight to the self-park. With the Lexus, I was like, I think I'll valet today in my Lexus, right? All of a sudden, I had this effect like, hello there, I'd like to valet my Lexus. Could you please put it in front for me? Thank you, yes. I was having the same effect with the Lexus. And I realized, whoa, you get what would be best for your life in the moment. Ferrari costs about 10 grand a year in insurance. And at that time, you can imagine my car was a Jeep Cherokee, right? So I go Jeep Cherokee to Ferrari. I got a serious problem when it comes to insurance because I can't afford it at that point. To get the tune-up costs 8 grand. So I'm 18 grand a year. I could buy a new Jeep every year just for the tune-up and the
Insurance.
And the insurance. And so I realize I get what I want. I get what I need, not necessarily what I want, what would be best for me. And so I go back to Claudine and I go, look at this. I got the free Lexus, but here, did you think about these things? And she's like, whoa, trippy, you're right. And I said, why don't we manifest a horse? She said, okay. Literally 2 months later, bam, she bought a horse for $13,000 that got appraised for $50,000. It died a year later of natural causes, and whammo, we got 50 grand in insurance money. She went into the horse business, traveled all over the world, buying horses, flipping horses, making money, she was a flipper in the horse business.
For sale by owner, flipper.
She got flipped a couple times too. But the bottom line is we just sold our last horse for $150,000, and we bought it for 40 grand in Germany, and it was the exact horse that she had told me about 11 years ago when she said, oh, just manifest, and bam. She thought it was going to be A, B, C, D, E. It turned out to be F, R, Q, L, Z. You never know how it's going to show up. The key is, can you be in this place of, could you be the one? Turn to the person next to you and just practice that. Could you be the one?
And ride the waves.
And then you just ride the waves. So,